Now, if you save your money and secure, and the fund is invested by professionals under the guidance of the government, really it can change your life. The change is we need to, first of all, show people that they can save their money and save, and actually they get back return on their savings. Sure. For the last 4 consecutive years, our interest rate on annual basis has been around 11.5%.
Hello there. My guest this week on the Long Form podcast is Jonathan Gatera. Jonathan is the CEO of the RNIT, the Rwanda National Investment Trust. We shall discuss exactly how the trust works and why young Rwandans need to invest in the trust. We shall also discuss financial literacy and answer the question, how exactly can young people build wealth in Rwanda? Before this episode starts, I want to make a deal with you. About 85% of you who watch this podcast frequently haven't yet hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy what we do here, here's the deal I want to make with you. If you hit that subscribe button, I promise you that we will keep making the show better and better in every single way. I hope you choose to come along with us on this journey. Now let's get into the show. CEO Jonathan, welcome to the Long Form.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. First, I just want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's right now. It's a Wednesday afternoon, and I know someone like you. You're probably trying to create more dividends for your people. So taking time out of your busy day to join me, it's not something that I take for granted. So thank you so much.
Welcome.
So let me ask the 2 most basic questions.
Sure.
There are 2 questions. The first one is, what is RNIT, the Rwanda National Investment Trust? Secondly, why should we as Rwandans be excited about RNIT?
All right. Thank you, Sunny, for having me. It's a pleasure to join you. I always follow you on the YouTube. It's my pleasure to be here physically. All right. RNIT, Rwanda National Investment Trust. This is an investment management company established by the government of Rwanda. It was established for 2 main reasons. First, to educate Rwandans the rationale of saving, the importance of saving, not only to individual, but also to the economy. Second, was to manage those savings, because it is an investment management company. We do fund management for the collected savings, but also we can do the service to other people who want to invest their money. So Rwanda National Investment Trust, a government-owned company.
100%.
100%.
Okay.
100%. And was established, maybe I need to go back in the history why it was established. We all know as Rwandans, we had the Vision 2020. It reached a lot of, it was very successful in a way. However, there are some aspects that were not really very captured in that Vision 2020 to do with the well-being of especially young people or the people who want to get rich. Let me say, want to get rich quick. Going through the proper channel of getting how to survive. Now, you know that when you look at the immediately after the genocide, we had so many financial institutions. You remember some of the saving schemes which are there, cooperative savings. Somehow they did not really
Change lives.
Yeah, change lives. And some of them actually were mismanaged. And this led to people to have distrust.
With the financial systems.
Sure. Now, the government took initiative to change all this. You remember even some people who were defaulted were reimbursed their money by the government. And so this time the government wanted to have at least take initiative to show that actually this thing can work. Now, if you save your money and secure, and the fund is invested by professional under the guidance of the government, really it can change your life. It can make people change their mindsets vis-a-vis saving and becoming sustainable in our lives, not only as individuals, but also as the government or the state. Now, after that bad history of what happened immediately, so now the change is we need to, first of all, show people that they can save their money and save. And actually they get back return on their savings.
Let's before you continue.
Yes.
Obviously, people have always been saving their money, whether it's in a savings account,
yes,
or even saving their money under their mattresses.
Yeah, sure.
So you're now coming and telling people save with us. So why should someone save with you?
Actually, that's what I was coming to. Because saving in those traditional way of saving, it has been there, but of course with a lot of risks. Saving with banks, we are not competing with banks. We just bring a new approach on how people can save. Because, banks, for you to open a savings account with a bank, there's a certain amount of money you need to have. Not every person can open a savings account, because for our case, it starts with only 2,000 francs. Tell me if you can open an account with a commercial bank with 2,000 francs and you call it savings account. It can't work. Besides, there are a lot of logistical needs when you are opening these traditional bank accounts. And by the way, when you do that saving in that formal way with banks, of course, there are some conditions. There's some time when you want back the money and you cannot get it before the time in the contractual terms are not yet done with. However, this is different because it is free entry, free exit. You save today, as I will explain. Tomorrow, if there is a reason why you need back the money, you will get it. And the interest is calculated on daily basis. So after 1 month, if you put your 20,000 with us, after 1 month, there is a reason why you want it back, you will get it with accrued interest of up to that time.
How quickly could you get your money back?
Currently, it is 4 working days.
Why?
Because we get a lot of people requesting for money. You cannot treat individual requests. And there is a need to cross-check. You see, from Monday to Thursday, we get the request through it's online. Then Friday, we cross-check if there are no frauds or if people, they are the genuine owners of the account. Then on Monday, we send it to your account.
So when I save my money in a bank or some of these mobile money savings accounts, you have about an interest rate of maybe 8%. That's what you get at there. When I save with you, what is my interest rate? Because I am trying to be selfish. I'm choosing. I want to see which scheme works best for me.
Sure. For the last 4 consecutive years, our interest rate on annual basis has been around 11.5%.
Are you sure?
And this is a net
Wait.
of all charges. Yes.
No,
I'll explain.
Help me understand.
Yes,
so
yes, sure.
How is it possible that you're giving people such a good return on investment?
Well, maybe in the beginning, I did not tell you that we are fully 100% by the government. We are paid salaries by the government. where the premises where work is paid by the government, we don't charge anything. Okay? Besides, if you invest with our scheme, it is tax-free.
What do you mean?
It is exempt from paying tax on income.
So, for example, are you saying that if I put $1 million francs,
yes,
and then after X amount of time, maybe 2 years, I want to take out my money, including the money that I've gotten from interest?
Yes.
I remove it, no taxes, no problem.
No tax. The law exempts people who save through collective investment schemes like ours from paying tax on income. So that means whatever you earn is free from tax.
Do people know this?
I guess they know, because at least the number of people has increased. We have got currently over 40,000 people who opened accounts with us. And maybe I will come back to tell them how to open an account, which is very easy. And we have got even other members, by the way, who are in groups. We normally call them Ibimina.
Yes.
These
savings
are
groups.
Savings groups, informal. They are the majority actually.
So, you forgive me because there's a lot of information that I feel you're telling me that I've never heard in my life. So, how long have you haven't told us how long when you were founded?
The company was established in 2014, but the scheme I'm talking about was launched in 2016, November. And it took off in 2017. That's when we started marketing it and educating people, doing a lot of public awareness. And so from 2017, that's where people were at first not so many, but from the last 3 years, we have seen a big number of people coming up to save with us. So I may say that 7 years in existence, but the reason why many people may not know about us is because, as I mentioned, there are two schemes that were established at the same time. People are very aware about the long-term savings scheme called Ejo Heza, which helps people to plan for their retirement. Those who are not in the usual scheme of pension, RSSB. So that one was given much more time because we all belong to the government for people to change their mindset. For us, we started about 3 years ago to start very big campaigns outside the media, even on the road shows. So that's why for the last 3 years, you see now us more often on the media marketing this product. Now, coming back to your question, the people need to know this message. We are doing our best to reach everybody. I hope this platform, the people who follow you on this long form will be able to ask a question where necessary, but we wanted them to join the scheme because this is an opportunity that was given by the government to enable us, especially young people, to start the habit or the culture of saving at an early age. And you save with flexibility of getting back your savings to help you to develop. Actually, I did not mention that the scheme is called Iterambere. Iterambere in Kinyarwanda is development, all right? So Iterambere Fund, that means if you want to gutera imbere, if you want to develop, start saving today. Minimum 2,000 francs. And if you save it, some people who save on daily basis, those who save on monthly basis, even those who save when they have harvested their crops on a semester basis. So all of them are encouraged to save at least 20% of their income, such that at least by the time you get 3 years, 5 years ahead, you are a millionaire.
How is it possible that the trust is able to give such a high return on the investment?
It is the way we do the investment.
And the second question, if I may.
Yes, sure.
Because when I think about investments, I also think that investments can go right or left.
Sure.
It can either be very good
Yes.
or it can be very bad. Now, maybe what the question that I'd like you to follow up is, how are we sure that the money that we give you, because now you've told us that it's 11%. When I think about 11%, I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
And then I immediately think, I want to be a part of this. But then something tells me, but what happens if, what are my guarantees
Sure.
that I won't lose money?
Sure. Thank you for that question. As I mentioned, this company of ours is owned by the government. The management is appointed by the cabinet. And there is a board of governance, which is also appointed by the government.
Who's in the board?
There are 7 members who are nominated by the cabinet. And they are there to oversee what we do. But again, we report to the Ministry of Finance. As a ministry, just say our line ministry. Besides, we have got regulators. We have got Capital Market Authority. It regulates in terms of the rules and regulations, the laws of the market. But we have got the Central Bank, BNR, as the regulator for fund management. So we have 2 licenses. The license to do the collection, which is given by the Capital Market Authority, and the license to manage people's funds, which is given by the Central Bank. Now, besides that, we have got even members who invest money with us. We call them unit holders. They also appoint we have usually annual general meeting once a year. During that period, they appoint 7 members who are trustees. For them, they're just to look after the interest of the savers. This is a body elected from the members of the savers themselves. And then for their work we report to them on a monthly basis. How we invest, how we do the transactions to make sure that we do the best for their fellow unit holders. Again, we are a government institution. There is Auditor General. Actually, has just completed our audit for this financial year, which ended June 30th. So Auditor General is there to oversee, to give guarantee that whatever we do it complies with the rules and regulations. All that is just to give assurance for the savers that we have got checks and balances.
Yes.
So the government is keen that mistakes that happened in those private schemes don't happen again. So that's to give the guarantee. Besides, we have got different other tools we use. You can easily access your account wherever you are through the system to check if you saved your money with us today. You can follow it up or see if it has reached your account. And tomorrow you can check if it has actually started generating your income. And you are free to ask any question. So it is very transparent.
No, well,
besides that, even the way we do the investment.
Yes, that's what I wanted to know.
Yes,
because
the investment.
How do you ensure
that,
how do you ensure that the investment that you're making is almost a sure deal?
Yes. The way our asset allocation, I hope I'm not using big terms, the way we do the investment is guided by an investment policy, which was approved by the central bank.
Okay.
All right? So in this policy, it limits us from investing where there is high risk. So we can invest the total portfolio or the total savings into fixed income. That is where there is no fluctuation in terms of interest earning. This is, in simple terms, we can invest with government bonds. These are secure, risk-free, and the interest and what they call coupon, it's fixed.
Yes.
Besides, we can also, we have flexibility to invest in other assets on the market, but we cannot go beyond 30% of our total investment into equity. This is listed, if you maybe Bralirwa, Simirwa, they have listed their shares on the market, on the stock exchange. We cannot go beyond 30% of our total portfolio. Meaning that if you have much of your investment into fixed, and by the way, these are long-term investments we do. So when we find that the government has issued a bond of 20 years and is earning 14%,
yes.
And by the way, we are, if you invest with us, you don't pay withholding tax. Okay, it's tax-free. Imagine 14% on your 2,000 francs for the next 20 years. Will not change.
So what you're saying
now, on average, because we do investment in different classes, that's why on average you find that the annualized return is around 11.5%. This is audited financials I'm talking about. All right.
So 11.5% is
what has been confirmed by Auditor General. That is what was earned last year. This year, 2024, we are likely to reach 12%. Why? Because the investment the fund has grown.
So are you saying that the interest rate is actually not fixed? It's based off of the performance of how you perform on the market?
Sure.
So for example, if you've said, it's 11% this year, that does not necessarily mean that next year it won't be 13%.
It could reach there, depending on how we have done our investment. I've told you that we have got professionals who are out there to do their work is to what is there on the market. Where can we invest without compromising the risk? All right? So that's why for the last 4 years, it has actually been on the increasing trend. Because if I remember very well, 2020 was 11.02, 21, 11.2%, that's 20%. Then it came to 11.4%. Last year it was 11.55%. This year is likely to increase because the total asset has increased, all right? And the way we have invested we have diversified.
And the economy is growing, so I'm assuming that you're not investing in loss-making entities.
No. How can we do that when we have regulators with us? They can whip us with, But also we do our best. By the way, let me tell you that to members, at least all the staff, they are unity holders. So how can you expect me, my investment, to go to be invested in loss-making? Me too, I have some, should I call it interest in it?
Yes.
Because me too, I have changed the way I've been doing my investment. I have all channeled it through this. And I'm calling for people to join us.
So, CEO,
yes,
I'm convinced. Now that you've convinced me,
sure.
How does this work? Can you take me and the viewers and the listeners through a step-by-step process of not just how to put money into the trust, but also how to take money out of the trust?
All right. Thank you. We have, as I mentioned, we are now digitalized. You can access our system via USSD. There is a short code. It's a *589. All right, and you put that hash. Then when you dial that short code, you will find where you can log in if you are a member, or register if you are new. For you to register, you need only your ID number.
Most of my listeners probably are going to say, going through the short code
now I was going to give you another way of doing it.
Another option.
Is to go through our website. There is www.shora, that's a Kinyarwanda word, shora.rnit.rw. If you go through that website, you'll find where to log in when you are a member. Of course, when you register for the first time, you need to register.
Yes.
And for you to register, either ID or passport.
And is it only open to Rwandans?
Of course, it's open for Rwandans, but even for non-Rwandans.
Oh, really?
Yes. Sure. We have
even let's say, for example, I'm now just playing the scenario. One, there are a lot of my listeners are also in the diaspora.
Sure.
I'm happy that you allow for passports as well.
Sure.
But I'm actually surprised that non-Rwandans, maybe with a...
The only caution there, if you're a non-Rwandan, we only take Rwanda francs.
Okay.
That's the challenge which is there. We are not yet saving through foreign currency. That means if you are a non-Rwandan, you need to at least have an account in one of the commercial banks here, where you can channel through your investments.
Okay. So that means it's almost... So if, say, someone is in the UK and is watching this and says...
Actually, we have got some members there.
Okay.
They have got their accounts in Rwanda, in Rwanda banks. So what they do after registering, they do the transfer from their account to our account in that bank.
Yes.
Because we have got accounts in all banks.
In
and
the
actually
country.
Even in the microfinances. So it is easy to do a bank transfer from your account to our account and immediately get a notification. Okay? So we encourage people, especially in the diaspora. We have got many members, by the way, of Rwandan diaspora who are doing... Actually, there is one friend, I did not ask for permission to mention him, but he resides in Canada.
Yes.
He usually, he has a family here. That he takes care of. So what he did, for him, he just transfers the principal. He said, I want my principal unattached. Only the interest earned is the one which he will be using to clear off the needs of the family members. And actually, he's doing a great job for us because he's marketing for us in other Rwandan, in the Canada and the US. So it is a good opportunity for Rwandans who live outside Rwanda, who want to do their investment in Rwanda. Even if I know many of them want to buy some plots or some houses, but there is a way you can save slowly and then you are able to acquire the property without incurring bank loan. So, brief, I think it's an opportunity that we need to share with our fellow Rwandans outside Rwanda.
So you've said being able to put money in, you can do it. It's a click of a mouse.
Yes.
Now, how about getting money out? Because very often, it seems that I've seen a lot of things where taking our money is very, very easy.
Sure.
They make it very, very simple to take, but then getting it out, they make you jump over.
No, for us, no. Since it is your money and you are saved it for the development or to clear off some of the issues you want to clear off, through the website still, you will find just a window indicating gusaba kubikuza. It is in Kinyarwanda. But I think it always pops in a goldish color. Gusaba kubikuza. When you click there, there's a form you fill. It requires your identification, names, ID or passport.
Can you fill it online or
online? You just say less than 2 minutes. You are done. You just need your ID, of course, your names and the account number where to send the money, and the amount you want to withdraw. All right. When you're down where they say signature, you just write your names, like Sam Nayombia, and then you submit. When you submit, we get it immediately. Then what we do is just to cross-check whether the identification you have given is the one we have in our system. You can even ask, by the way, there are even those who in the diaspora, when they want to channel money to another account, you may not be what the money you want to withdraw. maybe you want to give to your niece, to your nephew who is studying somewhere. You just have to highlight that the account number belongs to so and so. The moment you sign and you submit, sometimes we call you to cross-check.
Yes.
And then, as I mentioned, from Monday to Thursday, 5 p.m., we get the request. Friday, we cross-check. Then Monday, money is sent to your account. And we require that you have an account in one of the commercial banks or microfinance or any other financial institution in Rwanda. We don't send it out.
Okay.
Yes.
So one of the things that, so that sounds great, right? The fact that it's so easy to sign up, and it seems very, very easy to even take out your money. I mean, the interest rate sounds fantastic. There are very few places. If what you're saying is that the money that we're giving you is almost has a guaranteed return.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that's when you're investing, right? There's always that risk, and it's good to hear that there's a place that I can put my money, and it's actually working for me.
Sure.
Now, one of the things you were talking about savings, and how you put money in slowly over time.
Yes.
But one of the problems with saving is the idea that putting small amounts of money aside, sometimes you think, what can 100 francs do? What can 2,000 francs do?
Yes.
Will it really change my life? You know, there's a joke from Twitter where someone said that if the amount of money you have cannot solve your problem, eat that money.
No, I say
so that's that. But those are the attitudes, right?
Sure.
Because very often we it's not that we're taught, but we think it only makes sense to save if you have enough money to save. And then we start thinking in terms of millions. We think, I'll start saving when I have millions to put aside. So let me give you a challenge.
Yes.
Let us create for me a real scenario that proves that saving a small amount over a long period of time actually can work real miracles.
Okay, let me give you two scenarios. There is a vivid example of just a young man. Is a motor, how do you call them? These guys who drive motor. He resides in Kimisagara. He saves 2,000 francs on daily basis before he goes to sleep.
2,000
francs. He just uses his mobile money. By the way, when you do it, he uses before he goes to sleep. 2,000 francs. At the end of the month, you can imagine it's not all that big. But at the end of the year, he has a principal of 720,000.
Okay.
That's the principal.
So that is 2,000 over 365 days.
Yes. And then when you calculate the interest, it goes over 800,000. Now, if he doesn't, actually he kept it there. He did not want to withdraw it. When at the end of the year, that interest is capitalized.
What does that mean?
That means it is plowed back and it earns also interest. We call it compounding effect, all right? So actually this gentleman, after 3 years only
of saving 2,000 francs every day.
Yes.
For how many years?
3 years only.
For 3 years.
Because after 3 years, he was able to purchase 3 new motorbikes. Yes.
So, okay, maybe that
one. That's a vivid example which happened. Now let me give you another illustration. We have got young people today.
Let's say the average income, let's say they make about 600,000. and they can save without hurting, because when you're young, you also have other needs, right?
I know.
You have rent, you might want to buy a new phone, you want to hang out with your friends, you want to, maybe go and have a good time.
Yes.
So let me give you a scenario. They can put aside 100,000 francs every month.
Every month. Sure.
Now, if we create a scenario, so someone, let's say, and this person has just graduated from university, so they're putting away 100,000 francs. So at the end of the year, that is 1.2 million.
Yes.
But then they don't touch the money because they're 20, so they don't really need to do. They can do other things. So they're maybe not touching it until they turn 40. So 20 years. Right? And you've said that you can give people a percentage of about 11% per year. If I gave you that math, so 100,000 constantly for over every month,
yes,
for 20 years, what would someone get at the end of that?
Thank you for raising that question, because this is also something which we have worked out. Somebody, these days, young people get graduated when they're still young, 21, 22.
23,
right?
yeah.
23. By the time they reach your age, for me, I'm advanced. They reach your age, that's around 20 years from now. If they are able to save 100,000 francs per month, that will bring, and we take things for just constant at 11%.
Yes.
That person will be having more than 87 million in 20 years.
How? Wait.
Because it's true. It might sound
because if
too
you
good
look
to be
at
true.
it,
Yes,
it's 1.2.
1.2 just per year.
Yes.
20 years, that will make it maybe just around 20 what?
20, what is it?
It's almost...
it's not more than 30.
It's 30 million.
Yes.
But because of the interest that has been being plowed back, being compounded,
okay,
you will sure that will be at least minimum we can get that person will be 86 million. But I'm sure because the interest is almost over, it has not been below 11% for the last 5 years. That means this person with this interest compounding to around 90 million. This person can easily buy a new house here in Chibagabaga, in Nyarutarama, without a bank loan.
Now,
I'm telling you the truth. This is a reality.
No, it's one of those moments where I wish I could go back and become young again. So,
yes.
Because when I think about that, I mean, 100,000 is not a little money.
It's not.
But it's also not that money that you think, oh, this money can change my life.
Yes.
When I was younger, that was maybe a few nights partying with friends.
Sure.
And then...
Actually, when we are doing our public awareness, when we usually visit universities and have a clear discussion with gentlemen, these young people are doing a master's in finance or in economics, and we do the real calculation. It's unbelievable. Because...
You said it's called compounding interest.
Yes. Because the reason why I'm telling you this, and the benefit behind it, when you save that 100,000, you say earning 600,000 is possible. It only just less than 20% of your income, because we ask young people to save at least 20% of their income. If you earn that 100,000, for instance, you just say save 20,000. If you're 500, that's now. What I'm saying, 20% of your income, if saved today on a monthly basis, it will buy you whatever you want in 20, just even 10 years. You will not be the same. But for the scenario you mentioned, 20 years, the person who wants to acquire a mortgage without a bank loan, starting today, saving 100,000, very possible to get it.
Now, just so for the people who maybe are not as amazed as me, so that 90 million that you've said, that could buy you an apartment in Vision City.
Sure.
Full cash, no mortgage, your life is
free.
And then other people are paying mortgages that last 20, 30 years. Oh my God.
Yes, at 19, 20%. This is this is a reality, my friend, because actually the reason why you're saying that you wish you knew or you become young again, this also, it applied to me. You know, of course, I started working in banks. I should say I'm a banker because I spent 15 years in the bank.
Yes.
I used to get those short loans, but they're hectic.
Of course.
You see?
18%.
But by this is true to our listeners. By the time I started saving, because it was good that by the way, when this company was established, I was appointed as the chairman of the board. I became the CEO later on. So I started saying, now I cannot preach the gospel of which I'm not
a part of.
So I started saving just because I was the chairman of the board. I said, let me be an example. But tell you the truth, the money I was saving, for me, I had given instruction to my employer to just cut part of my salary. You don't feel it, by the way. You don't feel it because when they deduct it from your salary, and you whatever you get is what you spend. So I made sure that at least 20% of my salary will be saved. I could not feel it. I'm telling the truth. When I became the CEO, that's when I checked actually my balance, because I was saying that this is not...
It's not real money.
But when I saw how much it had grown, and the loan I was paying in one of the banks,
yes,
I had to take part of my savings. I cleared the loan, and then they stayed free from loan. I said, why didn't I do this earlier on?
My God.
You see, you feel it, saving is, of course, it's a sacrifice. It's just an opportunity cost. But it really saves you from future challenges.
And one of the things I think, when you're young, I think you don't think, long term. It's
Sure.
very hard to both be young and think long term as well.
Yes.
But I'm certainly, I mean, as soon as we finish this conversation, I want to open an account. Now, one of the things that you do at the trust is also financial advisory. So
Sure.
now I'm going to speak on behalf of young people.
Sure.
And ask just a simple question. So you've already given us something that we can do to think and invest long term.
Sure.
I'm going to give you the scenario that I gave you earlier. So someone has graduated making about 400,000 per month. So maybe they either work for government or they've just started their journey.
Sure.
As their financial advisor, if they were to sit where I'm sitting now,
sure,
and they were to ask you the question, how do I create real wealth for myself and my future family? If they were to be here where I am now and ask you that question, how do I create future wealth for myself and my family?
Yes.
What would you suggest they invest in besides the trust?
Yes. Okay.
The reason I ask is that very often when we talk about investments, the only options I feel is that they tell you, oh, buy land, and buy land in some place that is not well known, and then wait for the city to find you there, and then
Yes.
flip it. Or they ask you to, and that's real estate. Or they ask you to go into trading, get a bit of money, go to Dubai, buy something at cheap, come here, sell it, and take that profit. Or the last one is, and which is the most dangerous, is they ask you to speculate and just, you know, what we like to call deals. Engage in a deal, and then somehow you will be able to get money. But are those the only options that we have? If
Yes,
I am in your, you're now talking to not just me, but
to young people.
Young people.
All right. Thank you.
How should they navigate and allow for themselves to create real prosperity for themselves?
Okay. Thank you for that question.
I'm sorry if it's a hard question.
No, it's not hard, because this is real life. And we always like to engage with young people with some real life examples. When you want to make a wealth for yourself, first of all, of course, those products on the market are there, but you need to look at how risky they are, the risk you are taking. The plot, piece of land. Of course, I don't say that it's not profitable to some people, but suppose you buy it and you want to sell it back. How quickly can you get a buyer? When you want at least your money. Can it be 4 days as we do? Not possible. Besides those, there are so many other products, by the way, let me mention. Like when you want to do the investment, you see the bonds we are talking of, government bonds. The only change is that you need to have at least 100,000 for you to buy one bond.
So but is it a good option?
It is, but only the challenge is when you go there single-handedly, you need at least a minimum of 100,000 to buy one bond.
Okay.
But again, when you want back the money, you will need somebody to buy it from you. And you will need to engage brokers on the market who charge you commission. So
I can't just wake up and decide to go and buy a bond.
It can't be, because you need to have at least a minimum of 100,000 for you to buy one bond. But again, just the flexibility of it for you to get back the cash. It's not that easy. And besides, you will pay tax. Yes, usually you pay tax on income.
Yes.
But when you go through the scheme you're talking of, you are tax-free. That's one thing.
But is a bond a good investment?
It is good if you have enough
money
and you don't intend to get back the money soon. It's better you have it there for 10 to 15 years. All right? But of course, whatever you earn, you need to pay the government tax on it. And when there is a need for you to get the liquidity, you will need to go.
That's your money.
Yes.
Money.
The money, you need to go to the stock exchange to find a buyer who can buy your bond from you. And of course, the intermediaries, you need to pay them some of course,
administration
commission
fee.
Of course. So it's for a young person who wants to just have a relaxed mind without stress. All right? I would advise that please just have it with us and then you relax. When you want back the money, we shall do it for you.
But then they also say that it's good to have diversification.
Sure. Diversification, of course, when we are educating people, the higher risk you take, the higher return sometimes. But of course, that risk is a cost. All right? Now, for me, I would advise especially these people who don't want stress. Because I'm sure let me give you another simple example. You buy a piece of land, you construct a house to rent.
Yes. So you've bought a piece of land that is money that you've used. You bought the house, you buy the house, or you build it. That is more money that you've...
Yes.
And then now you have to find a renter.
To find some people who the rent will come on a monthly basis, maybe. But again, of course, the issues to do with tenants You know how stressful they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know how at the end of one tenant, you are going to refurbish or to the house, you know.
It has a certain level of depreciation.
You need to work it out. So sometimes when you don't want all that risk and the stress it goes with, let me give you just another example. Just a person who was an elderly person. He had a house here in Chichiro.
And this is a real example.
It's a real example. Now, he was earning 300,000 from the rent.
Oh, that's a pretty nice house.
Yes, it was good money. But of course, at the end of the year, he needs to change. If the tenant X gets out for another one to come in, you need to paint, you need to change all this, whatever. And it was a bit stressful. Lo and behold, when they are expanding this road to Nyamata, the house was demolished. He was expropriated and was given some good money.
For the value of the house.
For the value of the house and the plot, because the whole plot was almost taken by the road. And then he was thinking of where to invest the money, to buy another plot, to do what. And then he got just information from a retired person who is a member of our scheme. Said, by the way, there is a scheme there. Why don't you try? The person came with he was hesitating. Fortunately, we sat down, and then he said, let me try to put some part of it with you to see.
Not the whole amount.
Not the whole amount. But he was always checking on it. How is my... By the way, the interest he earned on were just 1 year was 3 times what was getting on a yearly income from the rent.
And wait, so
yes.
Let's go slowly.
Yes.
So you're saying that, so for the whole house and the plot,
yes,
he was making 300,000 francs
yes,
per month.
Per month.
Now, he decides to use not the full amount.
Yes.
He only invests a part of the money that he got from government.
To make mathematics easy.
Yes.
He was getting 900,000 per month as interest from his investment. That's per 3 times. Yes. That's
how much? So how much was? Do you remember what?
Yes, of course.
How much
it was above 100 million.
So it was
actually 100 million.
So he gave you 100 million.
Yes.
And now he started earning just interest. That's without the initial money that he put in.
Yes.
He was earning over 900,000.
Yes, because on a yearly basis was more than, of course, when you calculate, it's more than 11 million per year.
That is crazy.
Now, what he did, he was just joking. He said he used the Kinyarwanda word that why didn't you tell me? So just a friend, yes, a friend of mine, though he's elderly. What he did, he went and brought all the money. He has over 300 million with us.
Yes.
And what he did is say that the interest he earns on a yearly basis, there's nothing he can do with it. He decided to open accounts for his grandchildren.
Fantastic. So those are lucky grandchildren.
Yes, every grandchild has been opened account with us. So instead of getting the interest, of course, he said he jokingly that in Hashwa Kurara, yes, he's just at peace. His grandchildren are
already being taken care of.
So this is what I'm telling you is a vivid example of what has happened. Imagine 300 million. That means the minimum you can get is 35 million. Okay? You understand? Yes, because 11, almost 12% is almost 36 million you earn on a yearly basis. All right? And if you don't take it out and it's plowed back, the compound after 3 years, you will tell me how much you will be earning.
So
yes.
Now, again, I just so that I understand this. So then, why should I keep my money? But then you've also said that, diversification, maybe it's good for your risk if you have appetite
those
for
who
risk.
Those who are risk averse, who want to there is a.
Would you advise a young person to take a lot of risks?
No, because there is a way you can make income without all that stress. But if you are people who want to venture out, of course, you may invest it, like you said earlier on, speculation. Of course, you can earn something, tomorrow is wiped out. And even your principal is eaten.
Even the little that you had.
Yes. But the good thing here, you are guaranteed that at least your principal is intact.
Do you think that there is something wrong with young people, that something in us, not in us, I'm no longer young, but something in stops young people from thinking that the future is closer than they think? Somehow, what I mean is, I'm sure that when you're talking to that old Muse,
yes,
for him, he got it very quickly.
Sure.
Do you feel that when you talk to young people, because I when I do talk to some young people, they want quick money. I had Faustin Bundu here on the podcast, and he also talked about earning money slowly. But somehow, being young, you want to earn money. You want to drink champagne today.
Yes.
You don't want to drink champagne in the next 5 years. For young people who have that feeling of, life is passing me by and I need to rush into my wealth journey, what do you tell them?
Actually, they need to slow down because the future is there for them. You need to plan your future today. The champagne you want to drink today, let it, I don't deny you from the way you want to enjoy your life. But instead of drinking just champagne on a monthly basis, maybe drink one in 6 months and then you save the 5 months. Because in the near future, you will be drinking it without any stress, without using to spend your money, but the income you have generated. You see, the actual fact is, when we tell people that at least save 20% of your income, 80% you can use it in those other needs of life. But the 20% you save today will save you from spending or using a loan for other big picture or the big business you want to achieve. So please, the weekend, by the way, sometimes I see young people on weekends when they are, I say, how much have they saved before they do such kind of parties and what have you? Sometimes I feel hurt.
No, I remember a few years ago, I have a weekly column in the New Times, and I remember there had been an article about home ownership. And that time I had just finished university, maybe I was 2 or 3 years out of university. And I remember asking myself, these people, they want me to have a home. They talk about home ownership, but a mortgage is 18%.
Yes.
And then they also ask for 20% down payment.
Down payment.
Where am I going to get this money? And now, I remember then as a young person saying, there's no way for me, there's no path for me to build this kind of wealth. And then, I would like to, I'm really happy that finally, maybe by my time, I did not have that chance.
Yes.
I'm happy that there's finally something, a product that can answer that question that, okay, I'm 20 years today. By the time I'm 40, because I'm now 44,
yes,
I got my first house. I bought my first house at 39. And it was a mortgage, right? So I even after all those years of working, I could not find the money, the close to 100 million that I needed. I had to take a mortgage. Now I'm just imagining, oh my goodness, if this thing existed those years just when I was from university, maybe I would have needed a mortgage, but maybe not as much.
Yes, exactly.
Or maybe I would have been able to buy the car that I want instead of taking a car loan, which is now breaking my back every month.
By the way, there is another advantage that people need to know. Do you know that with the savings you have with us can act as a collateral or guarantee for a bank loan? It is acceptable. That means whatever you save with us, you can use it. You mentioned that when you want a mortgage, then at least you need 20%. Even if you want to get a bank loan, the money you saved with us still is accepted by banks as guarantee. That means you don't need to get out your money with us. Even those who want, by the way, some people, usually young people, want to get a visa to travel outside. You know that the savings with us is given more weight than this bank slip. No, they know that I can come forge. To you. I can come to you. You just
I put money in your account.
In your account, and then tomorrow I withdraw it.
Yes.
With this, the statement of account we give you certificate of ownership when you save with us. That certificate is not transferable. And many people, when you want to get a loan or a mortgage loan or what, you can present it to the bank. And it is given with the weight it deserves. Or when you want to get visa, you pray to the embassy, they say, okay.
This person has money.
Yes.
I want to ask a question. So I have 2 young children.
Yes.
So am I able to have them, let's say I have opened my account.
Yes.
But I want to maybe open a sub-account in their names.
Yes.
So that I can also start maybe putting a little bit of money aside for high school. You know, some of these school fees are now becoming more and more expensive. Sure. And I'm sure by now they're expensive. By the time my firstborn goes to high
university
school, or even high school.
High school.
I think for some of these schools, they're now charging up to 2 million.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
A term.
Yes.
It's very expensive. So am I able to create a sub-account under my account in their names?
Sure. It is being done. What you need to do is just you become a guardian for them. Then the account will be in their names, but of course you are like a you are the guardian of them.
And can I do that online, or do I need to come to the office?
Yes, you can do it. You can do it online. Shora. You go to the website, shora.rnit.rw. There's where you can register, you can save for somebody else. Because when you open the account for them, you will get their account number. Okay? The username will be yours. But the account number will come with a different figure. Then when you are going to save for them, you just log in. You want to save for others, that option is there. And you just mention account name of that person.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I think this would be something as young parents, you know, you also think about your children. And
by the way, let me tell you one more example, which is I did for parents to know this. I have 3 boys. And ever since I started this scheme, I opened account for them, the 3. And I will tell them that whoever get a distinction in class, I add 10,000 on your savings. To tell you the truth, they were always competing. You see? At least, of course, I made to make sure that I honored my word. And when you come home from school, you throw your bag there, I charge you 1,000. And I will do it.
And you withdraw it.
I say I will know, instead of saving 10,000 or save 9,000. And we make sure that at least their rooms are clean, everything is in order, and you find that they're checking on each other.
And it's also good.
And it brings some degree of responsibility for them. But they used to come to office to check without even when I'm not there, to check if really I have saved for them. Now, it dismotivated them. One of my boys, when he was getting this birthday anniversary, he said that instead of buying me a cake, save for me that amount of money. I want to have more savings than my brothers. He gone the cake, birthday cake, which means at least he has understood why he should save.
And I think those are the things that I think our parents did not, maybe because our parents were also poor. So you cannot teach what you do. You cannot talk about money or teach money when you also don't have money.
Sure.
And it seems that that's a way that you are now teaching your sons about financial literacy.
Sure.
And the value of money and the value of compounding interest.
Sure.
And the value of patience.
But just to let you know that, by the way, the savings I made for them, it also helped me in a way. I was doing some more at home, where I live in Chibagabaga. So when I was doing some work on renovations, I did not want to get bank loan. And so I had to borrow from them.
From them?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yeah. So, and I have reimbursed. They can check on their account. I have reimbursed. Because I did not want to get a bank loan. I used my savings, but I got short. Then I had to borrow from them. Because, of course, as a guardian, I had a say. I did not go to beg them. I just took the money and then I had to refund it.
Fantastic.
Meaning that at least the savings for my kids saved me from getting a bank loan.
So now I'm going to ask you the last question, and I want you to. I'm going to give you this scenario. So you've been in the investments game, in the money game.
Sure, for 24 years now.
For 24 years. You've studied it, you've seen it, you've seen how money works, how you create wealth, how to build wealth, how to hold wealth, how to consolidate it. So here's my last question for you. If you could go back, if there was a way that we could put you in a time machine and you are able to meet your 20-year-old self, 20-year-old Jonathan, maybe you might be in university.
Yes, still high school.
You're
I studied very when I was old. Yes.
Yes. So now you're in high school. What would you, if you were to sit down with him and say, you know what, I want to give you all the learnings that I've had for over the last 24 years, that somehow I can give you this learning so that you can be even further than where I am today. What would you tell him?
Save, and save. Because let me tell you, there is no little money. Whatever you can get. You know, as you mentioned, as I was starting my career, I started working in the central bank, 2020. The salary was not that big.
2020 or 2000?
No, 2000, sorry. 2000, I'm very sorry. In 2000, June. The money we are getting was not all that bad at that time. But of course, we went and said, oh, what can I buy? You know, there's a new, you change the screen. You know, we used to have these, how do you call them? This TV, which with how do you call it? Back or what?
Yeah, those yes. old TVs, now, not flat screen.
Of course, that one was giving me the picture I would want to watch. But again, I said, I cannot. You see, you start spending anyhow. But tell you the truth, had I started saving at that time, I wouldn't have gone to the bank to ask for mortgage loan. This is a reality. Because even that mortgage loan, as I told you, I was able to clear it off after saving. You see? So what I'm saying today, if I were to go back, at least even if I don't save 20%, 20% by the way is biblical. That's why I always follow it. I mean, refer to it. Even those who are Christians, the followers, this is biblical. It's in Genesis. Those who read the Bible. So even if you don't save 20%, at least save 10% of your income. Whatever small it could be, save it. And tell me after 3 years, 5 years, what will be having on your, so young people there, please, whatever you earn, try to save. You may not find it as if I am trying to make it sound very good, but the reality is, in this life, I've worked in this, these banks, I'm sure if they are here, they may hate me. They are there to make money.
Yes.
If they encourage you to open a saving account with them, it's not because they are just a pity for you. No, it's because they want to make money. When you save it for a given time, you will not need it within that time. They are going to make money. They are going to create wealth out of your savings.
And then they even give you very bad interest rates.
Of course, not bad for them.
Oh, bad for you.
Bad for you, because maybe you lack information of a better alternative. Now, the government has put in place not better, even the most remunerated scheme, which you can save seated at your, just as you sit here in your office. And then when you want money, you can access it the way, anytime you want it. And then the return, you cannot compare it. I know that the market, I have been on this market for so long. The return on investment on this market, be it real estate, be it in whatever instruments you are investing in, there's no way you can get a net of 12% on your income without doing these speculative investments. So my advice, start, especially people who are graduating, please, whatever you earn for the first earning, make sure you forego it, and then you will come back to me and tell me that what I'm telling you was not correct. I'm telling you, whatever you save today will bear you out in future. So that's the message I can give.
Bwana CEO, thank you for such a powerful message. All I can say is I wish I had heard this message 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. I would have appreciated this message. I have, as soon as we leave, I'm signing up. Maybe I've missed the opportunity to be rich as a middle-aged man. Maybe I'll be rich as an elderly man.
Of course, when you get ready for your retirement, there is also a good opportunity for you to retire without any stress,
With dignity.
With dignity. I'm sure if you put aside some money, just however small it may look, it will help you to go through your retirement age with dignity. You see? For me, I'm much older than you. I'm now working on my retirement package. Of course, there is one which I have worked for the usual pension, but now I'm working on my retirement package. Now, I'm just foregoing some pleasures, young people these days, when you go for a wedding every weekend, you give out the money. By the way, do you know that you can save and then whatever you want to give as in Hwererano, you can use your return on investment as in Hwererano. Yes. So let us work From you are just my young brother. We are starting to do our retirement package. I want to retire dignitary without any stress. But still, it's never too late.
I think that's the message of the
Yes.
day.
Yes.
It's never too late to create wealth for yourself. It's
Sure.
never too late to become disciplined. It's never too late to think about what your tomorrow looks like.
Sure.
CEO, thank you so much for joining
Thank you.
me today.
It's my pleasure having you.
It was amazing, and I hope that we can continue to have these kind of conversations.
Sure.
Maybe today we've talked about the trust and this feature. Maybe another time we'll talk about Ejo Heza, because I think that might also be an opportunity.
Yeah, it is, because we manage the fund for Ejo Heza as fund manager.
So there are a lot of, I think there are still a lot of conversations that we need to have to teach people about money and how money works. We barely talked about government bonds and how to do that. We barely talked about.
I'll be willing to teach, to give whatever information I have on these products on the market.
Bwana CEO, thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good.
If you enjoyed the conversation today, share your thoughts with us on our social media platforms. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.